दोनों लोग को दिखाइए। हाँ, ठीक है। Okay, I hope I am audible. Good afternoon to you all. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. So we'll start this session. As you can see, we are two instructors sitting over here. I am Devendra Singh, and the other person, I am Devendra Singh, and the other person who is sitting with me is Professor R.K. Mishra. We both are from Electrical Engineering Department of IIT BHU, and we will be presenting we will be talking to you about holistic and multidisciplinary education in context of NEP, as you know. And in this presentation, I think 1.5 hours or so, I will be taking it. And after that, Professor R.K. Mishra will be taking that. So we'll be taking turns. And in the end, we'll have a question answer session. In the middle also, we have several questions during the presentations, which you have to answer. So kindly be attentive to the presentations. I'm sharing my screen now. Screen. So I hope you can see my slides on the screen. Our presentation or agenda of today is on holistic and multidisciplinary education. We will try to address what is holistic and multidisciplinary education, why it is there, and how it can be implemented. Before going into the presentation, I'll request you all to keep away your preoccupation, because many of us are involved in implementation of many things related to NEP, and during that context we may have made up something about in our mind about various things. So I will just request you all to just keep that aside and hear whatever we are saying afresh, without any kind of preoccupation or without any kind of prejudice or whatever you may call. Take it as a new thing and just hear it, and then you decide about it. Then you make your comments or your thoughts about it. Don't hear this presentation or this lecture, whatever you may call, with your preoccupation or whatever you call your understanding of it. आप अपना बंद कर लीजिए माइक, नीरज कुमार. Okay, so shall we move further? So our topic is holistic and multidisciplinary education. Why and what, why and how. And this is the first poll, and it says that to give your opinion, understanding on holistic education. What do you understand by holistic education? I'm going to post this poll in the chat box, and from there you can answer this poll. Chat box. So this is the link for poll 1, and you can just go on this poll and answer it. This will be open for 5 minutes, and after that we'll start discussion. It's 4:11 now, so we'll close that at 4:16. Please remember this question. When you see, the options will not come in the same order as you are seeing on the screen there. For you, the option will be changed. So read it carefully and then answer it. You can tick more than one options. So this poll asks for your opinion, understanding on holistic education. And what do you understand by holistic education? Study of all the subject relevant to the course or discipline. A study of all subject relevant and irrelevant to course and discipline. Covers values and skills. Covers societal and family relationship. Covers body, mind and self. Study of subjects related to knowledge of human experience. So all you have to do is just go through this and submit it. चार कर दिए, ठीक है. Yes, we have already started getting responses. That is quick thing and good. Please see that these options will not appear in the same order as you see here. Your will be different. So we have 2 more minutes left. To those who have come in new, I'll just tell you that a poll is going on and the link of that poll is given in your chat box. Please click on the link and you can go to the chat box and answer it. We'll close the link after 1 minute. So I think I'll close the poll now. I'll stop accepting the responses now. there are around 36 people, but only few have responded. Only 24 people have responded. So if any problem, if you have any trouble responding this, let me know. If you have any trouble responding this poll, you please let me know in the chat box, or you can even put on your mic and say. Okay, so I am stopping the responses now. And this poll we have done. And let us discuss this poll, what results we have got from your poll. And from there, we will start our discussion. So this poll, I think this is the result. And the question was your opinion and understanding of holistic education. That is what you mean by holistic education. So maximum people have given there that it covers values and skills. So around 75% agree to this. And it covers body, mind, and self. Covers societal, family, and relationships. Study of all the subject relevant to the course or discipline, around 58% people have given it. Study of all subjects relevant and irrelevant to the course or discipline. So that takes very less, 7%. Remember, the way we put up the question, the answers come that way. So the second is study of all the subject relevant and irrelevant to the course or discipline. If you see in a very broader sense, it means all the things given below. That is, the language is so that sometimes we take the connotation as something very different. So it is actually study of all the subjects which a person has taken admission or admitted to a course or a particular discipline, as well as the subjects who are irrelevant to that discipline. That means they are relevant to other things, obviously. That is courses, values and skill, body, mind and self, society, family and relationship, and so on. So relevant and irrelevant. But the question, if you put the language is such that we tend to respond it, assuming that it's kind of unrelated thing. So please make sure that when we try to hear the things, that is what I have just instructed before starting this, that language or the way we put up the things, they look as if it is something other than what it means. All right. So that is our understanding, that which is almost very much clear to all of us. So let us see what do we mean by holistic education. So we will be doing what is holistic education and what is multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary education. Then we'll see why they are required, and then we will go for how they can be done. Okay. So when we see holistic education, it means, or its focus is on whole person instead of specialized or segmented experience. It assumes that learning is not separated from all the man's experience. So learning and experiences gives you learning. All these experiences leads to learning. Teachers, here in holistic education, teachers act as a friend, philosopher, and guide versus authority or expert of something. So now we are teaching our students like as we are expert and authority of something, and they have to listen to it. Whereas in holistic education, one has to act like a philosopher, guide, and friend to these students. Student and teachers have to work together towards a mutual goal. And last but not the least, that the cooperation and competition, cooperation is valued over competition. So that is favored. So we learn more through cooperation. So the focus of holistic education is a person and not the course as such. Okay. So the idea here of holistic education is to focus towards a student, and of course our things have to be designed in that manner. And what a student has in his if you see, the student will have many facets of living and learning apart from what admission he has taken to a particular discipline. That is how he is in body, mind, and self. You have to you have to impart not only skills but the values part of it. Individual, how he lives in as an individual, as a family, as a society, and existence. So he lives on all the four such levels. In relation to others, there are relationships, and he is in all these relationships at the same time. He is also a parent or a child, teacher or a taught, sibling, friends and colleague, also mother, father, societal relationships. So all this at the same time a student can be, and normally students are of that type. And we have to impart a education that allows him to address all these levels of living. So if you go by this kind of education, when we talk about this kind of education, then I come to one of the important quotes which we find in Kathopanishad. And that is how teacher and taught, when they are in doing holistic education, this comes to my mind somehow. Om Sehna Vavatu Sehno Bhunaktu Sahviryam Karvavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we both, teacher and the taught, be protected together. May we both be nourished together. May we both grow in knowledge and energy. May our study together be luminous. We may not hate or have discord between us. Om, peace, peace, peace. So if you see this meaning of this, it addresses everything. The nourishment part, the body part, okay, the protection part, that is mind and security, knowledge and energy, luminous, and also discord or hate or love, that is relationship. So if you see this addresses something of that kind. One thing more, whenever you have any doubt or anything, you can ask then and there itself also. I am not able to see the chat box, but okay. Where to get the chat box? I'll just put the chat box on for myself. Okay, yes. So you can also post on the chat box, or you can, then we will talk on mic. Okay. So if you have any doubts in between. So let us start. So that is the idea of holistic education. It covers all the facets of life of a student, and education has to address all those facets of a student's life. Then let us talk about what do we mean by discipline. So if you search on the internet, you will get discipline in different context. One context is taken in terms of object of research. So discipline is related to a object of research. That means if you talk about a discipline, then sometimes it talks about that object of research. For example, it may focus on a particular topic. For example, law, society, politics, natural sciences, engineering. So all these are a kind of, you can say, discipline. An object of research may be shared with other disciplines, but each of this discipline approaches it uniquely. So there is some separation in the way they deal with that particular research topic. For example, if you talk about body, okay, when you say human body, then for a physicist, it may be simply an object. For a biologist, it is a different matter. It approaches that study in a different way. And for a psychologist, the body is a different thing. And that way, being a body itself, human body itself, will have different way to approach in research domains, depending on the object of research or depending on discipline when we place. So it's all depends on how we see that particular. So each discipline addresses that object of research uniquely. Also, sometimes you may find that it is taken as accumulated specialist knowledge. So discipline also related to some kind of accumulation or putting together of a specialized body of knowledge related to some object of research. So and this knowledge is specific to discipline and not generally shared over other fields. Okay, it may have certain amount of overlapping, but normally when we say biological science, it treats human body as a slightly different way. Then social science, a person or a human body or a human is treated in a different way. Similarly, a person or a human body or a human is treated differently in a psychological space, so or a law space. So same thing. Of course, there may be some kind of overlap, but that is very minimal. Also, it is set of effective theories and concepts. So sometimes we try to recognize the discipline as collection of some concepts. Okay, so if certain type of discipline, it embodies certain types of discipline, theories, concepts, and they are organized properly in a one kind of bundle, and you can say that all this set is a discipline. Now, this discipline is basically a kind of framework to help scholars understand and analyze their subject matter and talk to each other or communicate to each other in the same field. So that framework is utilized for understanding it in a much better way. Then also, discipline has one more characteristic, that it has a specific terminology. Okay, so very specific terminology. You can coin any word in one particular field, and you will find that it has different meaning in different fields. And these terms, of course, facilitate the communication within the discipline and distinguish it from the others. So these are the characteristics of a discipline. It has a subject matter. So a discipline will always have a subject matter. And depending on that subject matter, it may be humanities, it may be culture, it may be natural sciences, it may be physical world, or so on. All these disciplines are also characterized by their own way of methodology. So, for example, if you see research method used in one field, another field may be different, and all of them will be calling that we are doing research. So, in some way, in some cases, one may be doing just surveys on something, and they call that as a research, whereas some other person in sciences may be doing something else and calling that as a research. So they have a specific method of studying those things. And also, of course, theoretical framework we have already seen. Also, This last one, that is second last one, that is academic departments. So sometimes we also define discipline in terms of academic departments at the university or at a university or an institution. So institution have already divided academic departments, and normally at times we academic people take that only as a discipline, that is university departments. So Department of Psychology is one discipline, a Department of Engineering may be other discipline, and so on. And then there are also certain interdisciplinary areas. So a discipline can also be recognized by its associated interdisciplines. For example, physics, mathematics, etc. can be related to, can form an interdisciplinary area within themselves. So they also define each other in that way. So they are close to each other in some way or other. So that is also a characteristics of a discipline. If you see the examples of academic disciplines, they are quite broad. Normally, in our context, we don't take academic disciplines this way. Whole of humanities is grouped as one discipline. Then whole of performing art is one discipline. Social sciences, one discipline. Natural sciences, one full discipline. Visual arts, one discipline, and so on. So engineering, a separate discipline. So these are the academic disciplines which normally we deal with. And if you see, there are also overlap in this example. If you see the first one, that is humanities, then you have social sciences. There may be overlap of certain studies between these two. Also, the last one, history, is also having some overlap with humanities and so on. So that overlap will always be there. We cannot have a standalone or a watertight disciplines within each of them, and others do not cross the boundaries to that. That will never happen. So here with examples, if you see, what do we mean by humanities when we say it includes fields like literature, philosophy, history, and linguistics. Humanities will explore culture, language, and human expression. Similarly, performing arts as a discipline, it addresses music, dance, and theater. Music studies cover areas like composition, education, and musicology. Visual arts, painting, sculpturing, photography, graphic design, and these are actually different mediums. So the way the artist express, so all these are covered in visual arts. Social sciences, that is psychology, sociology, economics, and political science. Social sciences study human behavior, societies, and institutions. Similarly, natural sciences would include physics, chemistry, biology, astronomy, and so on. Natural sciences will normally expected to explore physical world and natural phenomena. Similarly, you see engineering focuses on practical application of scientific principles, and there are again disciplines, so to say, within engineering, that is civil, electrical, mechanical, and so on. So sometimes we also see discipline as a separate within themselves, like civil engineering is also civil, electrical, and mechanical engineering are also understood to be separate disciplines. Then health sciences would include medicine, nursing, public health, and addressing well-being and healthcare. That is the primary job. Architecture is involving planning and design of buildings and structures, and functional and aesthetic, talking of functional and aesthetic spaces. Similarly, history, and so on. So these are different kinds of discipline which we see in our life, and that we have seen what are different disciplines. Now we are coming with another poll, and let us try to see what do we understand by interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. So these are some statements, and you can have more than one checked. I'll put this in the chat box. So you can just answer this poll. So this poll is about what do you understand by interdisciplinarity, multidisciplinarity, and transdisciplinarity. So I'm trying to play with words so that you try to understand these words among themselves and what your understanding of words are, or rather our understanding of these words are, and then we'll do the discussion. So if you see, it will not appear in same order in your case. Interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and transdisciplinary are more or less the same things. Interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and transdisciplinary are not the same things. Multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary are same, but interdisciplinary is different, and so on. So similar kind of questions are there. Let us see what is your opinion on this. I'll close this. This is 4:38, and I will close this poll at 4:38 plus 5, so 4:43. Okay, it's good that responses are already coming in. Please try to hurry up. We'll put this on for 5 minutes.
Hello. Sir, I'm not able to hear you. Hello.
He is waiting for the responses.
Actually, I am not मेरा connection cut गया था. Then I am not getting the code again. That link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please check the chat section.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
So we have received up to now 27 responses. Please hurry up so that we can discuss it nicely. If all of you are participating it will be good. Is there a technical issue in filling up the form? Is it anybody else also having the same problem? Bhagwati has asked this.
जी सर।
क्या प्रॉब्लम आ रही है?
सर ये मेरा है ना पुरानी ईमेल आईडी से खुल रहा है जो अभी एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं कर रही है, तो वो फॉर्म मतलब ले ही नहीं रहा है आंसर, जबकि मैं फीडबैक फॉर्म भरती हूँ रोज, वो चल रहा है, वो दूसरी ईमेल आईडी से है।
आप इसमें ईमेल आईडी से कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं, आप इसको क्लिक करेंगे तो सीधा ये आपके उस पे जाएगा। उसमें
नहीं, वो सर मांग रहा है साइन कीजिए और फिर खुलेगा फॉर्म, तो बार बार साइन इट मांग रहा है और फिर मेल आईडी मांग रहा है और फिर वो ले ही नहीं रहा है।
अच्छा, बाकी लोग से भी मेल आईडी मांग रहा है क्या? शुड नॉट बी आस्किंग फॉर ए मेल आईडी इट सीम्स।
Yes, it is asking for a mail ID.
So
But,
you may not have entered with that mail ID as a this one, what you call?
हाँ, पता ही नहीं सर, ये मेरे क्या पहले एक मेल आईडी थी ये, तो हो सकता है उस समय मैंने कैसे क्या है ये मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है, कभी कभी होती है ये प्रॉब्लम। बाकी अभी फीडबैक फॉर्म में नहीं होती, फीडबैक फॉर्म में रोज भर रही हूँ तो वो ईमेल आईडी से भरा जा रहा है, लेकिन इसमें ये पुरानी वाली मांग रहा है। ये ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है पता नहीं।
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं। आई थिंक कोई बात नहीं, बाकी लोग कर पा रहे हैं ना। Somebody is suggesting that you switch your email ID, then possibly it will work.
हाँ, मैं वो भी कर रही हूँ, लेकिन वो स्विच ईमेल आईडी वाला ऑप्शन भी नहीं आ रहा है।
No, you have to I think log in into a different email ID.
हाँ, लेकिन अभी वो करंट उसमें नहीं, वो मांग ही नहीं रहा है डिफरेंट आईडी, और पता नहीं कोई दिक्कत हो रही है सर।
कोई बात नहीं।
जी जी।
So I think I will stop it here. It has been long time, so we'll now discuss the results of this poll. I'll stop accepting the responses. Okay, so this is around 28 people have answered it, and let's see what are the responses. So interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary are same thing. Roughly 35% or 10 out of this 28 people believe that they are all these three are same. Then they are not same. So this is 50-50. And interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary are same, but transdisciplinary is different. 5 people take that, and similarly the other results. So in fact, if you see, we are divided mainly in two parts. One set says that they are the same thing, and the other says they are not the same thing. So let's try to see what my understanding of these things are. Possibly this may help you. I think there must be one more poll after this. Yes. So we will go for the next poll. Possibly this will give you some idea. Following options are best suited, for example, of interdisciplinary subjects. So if you are called to group the interdisciplinary subject, let us see what you have in your mind. So let's see this example. Try to answer this poll number 3. And this is related to which are the best suited example of interdisciplinary subject. math, physics, music and painting, math, physics and environmental engineering, math, music, dance, painting and sculpture, math, painting, environmental engineering and music. So which one you feel are interdisciplinary? Which set?
It's a B, sir, second.
No, there are multiple. You can take multiple. More than one examples may also be correct. Just try it yourself. We'll discuss it, what it comes. Let's see what is the response of whole group. Okay, yeah, I think we just slightly forgot the timing. So let's take this 4:49 to 4:54. So I'll close this at 4:54. I think this time we have more time. I hope most of you will address it. You need not put your answers in the chat box. You have to put it in the response only. Because if you put in the chat box, every other person will get influenced by your response. So we have 1 minute left. Then I'll close the responses. Please hurry up. I think we can stop now. And then we'll go for seeing what as a group we see. Multidisciplinary, is it? Yes, we are talking about multidisciplinary subjects. So I'm stopping the responses. So here, let us see maths, painting, environmental, engineering, and music. Most of us feel that they are multidisciplinary. And maths, physics, music, and painting somehow is less multidisciplinary, we feel. And maths, physics, and environmental engineering is not multidisciplinary. Okay, less multidisciplinary, you can say, and so on. So let's go back to our presentation. So let us see what do we mean by interdisciplinary or interdisciplinarity, sometimes they say. Knowledge in relation to several established discipline and their overlapping nature. So when it's already established discipline overlap each other, then we can say that these subjects, due to this overlapping nature, are interdisciplinary to each other. And that relates to connecting and integrating of several school of thought, professions, and technology. So we try to borrow thoughts and sometimes concepts from one to another, and this knowledge and methods are transformed from one side to another side. So and normally going for interdisciplinary education, anybody, the goal for doing that is mostly utilitarian. That means you gain something as a discipline. So person in a discipline gains something extra from other discipline or going interdisciplinary. For example, maths, mathematics, management, and engineering, if you see, all these subjects are, in fact, if you see, they are overlapping each other, and their need may be so that a person may need all these subjects. So this is a kind of interdisciplinarity between them. So physics and mathematics in a way are interdisciplinary, and management and engineering are in a way interdisciplinary subjects. Also, you find mathematics and management could be an interdisciplinary subject. There is one more word which we come across, that is transdisciplinary, and it is totally different from interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. We'll see what is transdisciplinary first. So transdisciplinary is not related to any established disciplines. When we say it is transdisciplinary, then the problem, this means that this discipline is now problem-centric. So that problem may need different kinds of discipline to address it, that particular subject or particular problem. So that is in the center, and you have all the discipline coming across it, so that can be addressed. So it is not, you can say, discipline centric, but it is problem centric. And that is why the nature of the problem itself in is under dispute, that it is falling in which category or in which discipline, who will address it. So that problem becomes central, and all the discipline come together, and that problem in a way is called transdisciplinary nature. The problem, nature of the problem is transdisciplinary. So crosses disciplinary boundaries to provide a holistic approach. it involves collaboration. So when you want to solve this kind of problem, which are transdisciplinary, then it involves collaboration between scholars from different fields and engages even non-academic stakeholders such as policymakers, community members, and industry experts. So this is what happens when you talk about transdisciplinarity. And again, this is a goal-oriented or a problem-oriented, and it is of utilitarian nature. You want to solve that problem. That is your idea of getting into a transdisciplinary area. So here, for example, if you see, environmental studies is a transdisciplinary area. In actual sense, if you see, environment involves law, legal procedures, it may involve geography, it may involve engineering sciences, civil, mechanical, chemical, it may involve management things, and so on. And even non-academic stakeholders. It may be very specific to a particular place. So this, as such, environmental studies, you can say in itself is a transdisciplinary thing, or AI, or even bioinformatics. But the issue is, normally when we hear about this, we say that they are interdisciplinary because these problems are normally looked from an angle of one of the disciplines. So normally we address them and say that they are interdisciplinary, whereas it is actually a transdisciplinary thing. But while addressing in a university setting, it appears that they are interdisciplinary. So it often becomes interdisciplinary when treated in a disciplinary boundary. Otherwise, environmental studies, AI, and bioinformatics are, in fact, if you say, can be classified as transdisciplinary subject or transdisciplinary problems rather. Now let us see what do we mean by multidisciplinarity here. It involves studies in not just one discipline, but in several disciplines at the same time. So different disciplines are being done by same person at the same time. It incorporates the perspective of several disciplines. And multidisciplinarity or doing multidisciplinarity is a scholarly pursuit. And it is not a utilitarian perspective. We don't do multidisciplinarity for a certain utilitarian goal. Multidisciplinarity may be just done because I want to do this also, that also, because I like it and it suits me, that's all. So there is no utilitarian or not. It doesn't mean that if I do some multidisciplinary things, I will understand my subject or course better. It will not help that way. So multidisciplinarity is something like that. So multidisciplinarity means if I am doing engineering, for me, multidisciplinary subjects could be painting, maybe music, maybe sculpture, maybe sports physiology or sports physics or so on. So all this are multidisciplinary way of seeing the things. So let's try to compare and contrast these three things, that is interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and multidisciplinary things. So if we have already seen, I am just combining them in a nice table so that they look good. So interdisciplinarity relates to established discipline. Of course, it is of overlapping nature between disciplines. Integrating and connection of disciplines. Transfer of knowledge from one discipline to another discipline happens in interdisciplinarity. The goal of going interdisciplinary is utilitarian. And if you see the we have taken the example of this subject, and you can group them in an appropriate way, of course, to become interdisciplinary to each other. Whereas transdisciplinary, we have already seen, it is a problem-centric thing or a concept. Nature of the problem itself is under discipline. It transcends the interdisciplinary or even disciplinary boundaries, often becomes interdisciplinary when treated in disciplinary boundaries. Again, here doing transdisciplinary studies are having utilitarian goal. And if you see environmental studies, AI, bioinformatics, and this kind of subjects, you can say is kind of transdisciplinary. And then if you see the multidisciplinarity, it's totally different. It's not related to disciplines. There may be no overlapping, or there is in fact no overlapping, and it is a scholarly pursuit. And the goal to become or to study multidisciplinary subjects is non-utilitarian. For example, if you see here, engineering, music, sculpture, history, agriculture, values and ethics, so they are not actually related, or they are not overlapping each other boundaries. They are totally different from each other. And sometimes when we put the subject this way, then we say that we are doing multidisciplinary studies. So again, a new poll comes. I hope now you have understood what do we mean, at least I mean by these three terms. So this next poll is related to, here you have only one answer. So in your opinion, which one of the following is most important advantage of having inter, multi and transdisciplinary subject in a course or in a program? So if you go for this kind of or adopting interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary subjects and transdisciplinary subject in your course or a program, what you feel is the most important advantage? Okay. Only one of these are correct, so only one you can select. I'll post this into the box. Sorry. So this may appear differently for you. It won't be in the same order. So please take care. The order given in the slides and order given here and order you get are different. I'll just order. Time नहीं देखा. So it's 5:13 now. We'll close at 5:17. Please hurry up.
Sir, you are muted.
Somehow I couldn't remember that I was muted. I'll just repeat whatever I had just said. So this poll shows that most of us, at least 57% of us, feel that when we have multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and interdisciplinary subjects in course or a program, then students have option to explore other areas which may be interesting. So most of us feel this. Second, we feel that it leads to the outcome, that is outcome of this, having this thing says, it gives us a well-rounded individual, understanding of several things, and also it improves the understanding and earning for the courses of main program. That means it improves the understanding of your main program, and people get interested because now our subjects are very less in number compared to others. So the main course becomes you can say the main courses, the number of subjects are less, so people get more interested in those. Getting less number of courses doesn't mean that you normally do away with whatever has to be taught. The number of courses get less, subjects get less, but they get well defined, and they are more rigorous. So that is for what we feel as a audience or as a group, that it is important, because if you see, that is what we want from a program. Either we want a well-rounded individual, or we want that our students are interested in our main course and programs which they are interested in, and they have also have a wider understanding of the things, and they get a option to explore other areas which may be interesting, but which we have, one of the things which we have not taken into account is relaxing, as there are different in flavor to the main program. So that is another way of saying the other three things. So that is only a language difference, that having those multidisciplinary subjects actually relieves him of the rigor sometimes, and he also feels that I can do different things. I am good at different things also. So when we have this inter and transdisciplinary subjects, then what do we get? Why should we have this? We have just seen. It gives you a possibility of understanding overlapping areas. This is related to interdisciplinary. For meaningful and applicable research, so when you have interdisciplinary work in interdisciplinary area, you normally end up with utilitarian concepts or products, okay, or services which are useful directly. So you can do that application research when you go interdisciplinary. All real life products and services are interdisciplinary. For example, if you see, normally in engineering, we teach Fourier transform to analyze a waveform. So if you have an electrical waveform, to analyze that, we teach a concept called Fourier transform, which breaks this waveform into different components. And by seeing that components, we talk about how, what are the things in the waveform, what are the characteristics of a waveform. Now, when you talk about interdisciplinary, the same concept can be applied to data, commercial or a stock data for data analytics. And you can get lot of, you can say, make some better sense of those data. So, wait. Where it is closed, it is yours. All right, there was a mistake there, I think. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. You are audible and visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, the engineers have learned this Fourier transform in electrical subjects or maybe electronics, but this can be applied. They have also applied to stock data or commercial data to get into the insights of happenings there. And that is a kind of interdisciplinarity which is crossing, in fact, boundaries, not even engineering or sciences, but it's going to commercial areas. Then if you have interdisciplinarity, then there are development of different areas like robotics, mechatronics, bioinformatics. Welding machine is very interesting idea. When you see, it is in fact a electrical machine which welds, and it is in fact not studied in electrical engineering. It is in fact studied in mechanical engineering. So because it relates to electricity as well as it relates to material sciences, and as well as it relates to stresses and so on. So this is one of the things which you can see how interdisciplinarity comes into our system of education, and they are important in understanding the concepts. Why to have multidisciplinarity? So interdisciplinarity close to your courses and subjects. They give you a better understanding of the main program. Multidisciplinarity increases your horizon of understanding. Improve the understanding of problem in different contexts. Same problem put in different contexts. And that makes you to understand it better, or do some kind of analysis. We appreciate other point of views or world views, arts, effort and design concept of designs in other fields. What is meaning of design in other fields? What are the approaches of designs in other fields? How they see the world, different disciplines, how the world is different for them. And you can do multifaceted analysis. And now, instead of analysis process, you try to find a synthesis process among this discipline. And there is possibility of borrowing concept from one area to the another. So, and this borrowing of concept is not similar to what we have in interdisciplinary subject. Okay, this concept may be totally different. You may get a totally different idea of your subjects. So why this multidisciplinary subject are important to us? Because they allows the student or the people who are doing courses to see an art form and understand the appreciate the efforts put in. So for example, a scientist, a person doing sciences sees an art form, he will come to know that how much effort is being put into it so that it looks good, why it appeals. The amount of effort into it, he can appreciate. When he makes his own, say, sculpture, or if he wants to make his own music, he will understand the amount of effort, and thereby he can understand the artist who have done several things. Then you can do technical intervention conflicting with cultural and local context. So you come to know where our technical intervention sometimes conflict with cultural context or local context. So that is important. Sometimes we do technology just without understanding the cultural context or the local context, and it may actually at times backfire. Even though we may put a lot of effort, it may not be useful. So when you have multidisciplinarity, you understand the real things in it, cultural context, and then only you do the technological intervention if required into that context, into that system. For example, if you want to design a smart city, simply thinking that in terms of a engineer or a civil engineer or an architect will not suffice. You will have to see the culture of that city. You have to see the climate. You have to see the local context, how the people are, and so on. Then only you can design anything which really would look like smart. Otherwise, it will be simply trying to put various technologies into one place and trying to say that it is a smart city. Now, why this holistic education is required? I will go through this few slides without saying a word. Try to read it yourself, and possibly that will be more effective than I say.
इसलिए मैंने दिया है जरूरत पड़े तो आप इसको यूज कर सकते हैं
Okay, so I think this may have been an interesting read to you. It's by some child psychologist and a Holocaust survivor named Haim Zinot. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but this is what it is. And so that is the idea of holistic education. At present, whatever we are teaching as a whole in name of education is of course not giving us fulfilling the purpose for what the education is. And this particular slides very much actually summarizes that part. So multi, inter and transdisciplinary disciplinarity is required for getting holistic education. A person himself has multi, inter and transdimensionality in himself. So a person himself is multidimensional. He has many facets in life. Wisdom, knowledge and skill required for those dimensions are addressed through this multi, inter and transdimensionality. At present, the education is focusing mostly on job, not even truly skill centered. So we are not even trying to, our education is not even centered towards skill. It's mostly centered on a job and forgets all the spheres of life such as body, mind, self, values and skills, individual, family, society and existence, and in relationship to other, how should he conduct himself as in the settings of parent-child, teacher-taught, sibling, friends and colleagues, mother-father, and in general societal relationship. So our education has in fact not even whatever education we are given is not even suited for giving even a true skill. As our graduates go out, they go for higher degree, they are lesser and lesser confident. They need somebody to give them a job. They are not confident at all that they will. In fact, when he is uneducated, possibly he is more confident that he can do something and earn his living, and he is more confident than a general graduate who is searching for somebody who will give him a job. So this is what has happened to education. We in general are given. And also this holistic education at times may be just relaxing. That means while doing a course, a person also needs to come out of it. And when you have a multidisciplinarity, it gives a relaxation of that rigor. When you have multidisciplinarity, it may give an idea of how interesting other things are. So he have other things to look for also, and not just get centered around his particular discipline. Why this holistic education has become more important now? Because of rapid change and development, and if you see, we are now for now we are having almost lot of production of physical facilities, but we don't know how to cope with these physical facilities, what to do of this. So most of the time we are caught in our own web of production and utilization and consumption, and we don't know how to address this problem. Conflict and strife is increasing in individual, in himself, and also in society. Environmental crisis, you all know, climate change and that our lifestyle, and we hardly pay any attention except for saying something, and that is all we do most of the time. or doing some, you can say, a lip service or doing some token service to environmental. That is all we can do. In spite of achieving one goals, the individual remains dissatisfied. So even though he's not doing any of those things for climate change, for conflict, even then a person, in spite of achieving all the goals which we feel are great, he feels dissatisfied with jobs and the positions. Intellectually and mentally he feels unfulfilling. Wealth breeds problem in family, chaos in society, and imbalance in nature. So it doesn't mean that we have to destroy wealth. We have to be worthy of that wealth, and we have to be understanding of how to deal with it. The individual, nations, and civilization are increasingly at war. So this is how and why this holistic education is important. So now once more, you'll have to do some work. In your opinion, which one of the following is most appropriate statement? Adding transdisciplinarity and related subjects to the existing disciplinary subject is okay, but not multidisciplinary subject. Okay, there's some mistake. Adding transdisciplinary and related multidisciplinary subjects, and not in general all multidisciplinary. Adding multidisciplinary subjects to the existing discipline subjects will not dilute the main program. Adding multidisciplinary subject to existing disciplinary subject will dilute the main program. Adding multidisciplinary subjects to existing disciplinary subjects would make the main program more interesting and fulfilling. So we'll try to see what your opinions are on this. I'll post this in the chat box. Okay, this time I'll close this at 5:38 plus 5 minutes.
43.
5:43. We'll close this at 5:43.
Sir, here also more options are applicable.
Here it's round block, so it is only one you can choose, not more than
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I feel I must close the responses now. And we'll discuss the poll. So it was, what will happen to existing courses. So most of us, we feel that adding multidisciplinary subjects to existing disciplinary subject would make the main program more interesting and fulfilling. That is very nice outcome of our group, that we believe that when we add multidisciplinary subject, that will improve the situation as far as understanding of main program is concerned. Then some of us, we also see that subjects will not dilute the main program. Of course, that is what this yellow one also says, that they will improve. So that is a positive sentence, whereas red one is slightly negative sentence of same type. And some of us also feel that adding of this transdisciplinary and later interdisciplinary to the subject is okay, because we feel that that is nearer to whatever we are teaching. But adding multidisciplinary is not good. That means that will dilute the program. And many of us also feel, few of us also feel that adding multidisciplinary subjects would dilute the main program. So that is our understanding of the things. Hope I was there online. Yes. So, all right. Now let's move further. Now, when we are talking about putting this in actual this one, that is what NEP relates to as far as holistic education is concerned. It tries to say that, or it says that we should be doing that, and it says it strongly. And it's good that we as a group also understand strongly that it is a requirement and it is in fact a good thing. So it says that when you talk about existing courses and adding a multidisciplinarity to it, it is in fact not replacement, but it is coexistence of multidisciplinarity and the main core discipline. The courses so-called traditional have changed and evolved and become interdisciplinary over the year. So this we have seen ourselves in our fields, that the things have actually changed many times. Our subjects have changed, our nature of those subjects have changed. Of course, there are some fundamentals to your core program normally that remains the same, because the focus of study would be some core thing. Changes or addition can be made to include multi, inter and interdisciplinarity. So we can do certain changes so that addition of this can be made, multidisciplinary subjects can be made into it. Of course, remember that when we do, it's not replacement of already existing subject. It is something else. It has to coexist. We don't have to do away with understanding of the main core subjects. Improved level of engagement due to interesting courses. This we have already seen. Meaningful relaxation may increase an earning for interest of our core courses. So I am giving you an anecdote which we have come across when we introduced human values courses, and we used to teach them for first 21 days in induction program. And what we found was, of course, along with these courses, there are several other multidisciplinary things which were going side by side, and main core was not there. Is it? So my mic is off?
You're on.
It is somebody else.
Yes, sir, it's on.
Okay, so what it says is what we saw in that we had human values course along with several other multidisciplinary things. And for those 21 days when these things were going on, students used to come and ask, sir, when we are going to study our core things, how they will be, what they will be, when they will come. So there was an interest for it. And when they were not taught, they were waiting for it when those courses would come. So that is what happens when you have multidisciplinarity in this. They try to find out what our core courses are. Now, why at a cost of existing core programs or core subjects we should do this? We can do this even at the cost of doing our core subject, because that gives us broad understanding of society and relationship for a student. A student is much more than just an engineer or a particular scholar of specialization or a doctor. He is something more than that. And to address those parts of his life, he need to have some broader understanding of society and the relationship. Character needs to be nurtured as an essential quality. Must understand and fulfill his responsibility as a professional and a citizen and as a human being. Several meta skills and underlying values are needed. Many times we say that these things has to come by themselves and teaching won't help. But seeing the today's world, if this has to come by itself, example of today's world, if you take, you find that we are nowhere teaching them how to address these qualities or these things or values or relationships, how to maintain them, what to do with them. So these things are hardly being taught, even if not even on the family level. So this has to be taken on the educational side. If you see, there is a mad rush for engineering today, and without determining his interest or goal, the student goes into it, and finally he finds that there is. If you see that today's students in engineering, they are highly demotivated. They have come somehow. That's all. Their interest lies somewhere else, but because of this, some kind of societal they have come in. Peer pressure generates its own problem and leads to a peer environment that is demotivating. How to cope with this problem? And it is seen everywhere. So the holistic approach is needed so that he can address for himself this kind of things. He starts his hostel life without close parental supervision. At the same time, further worsens it and also a poor daily routine. So when he comes, he already has a poor daily routine, and along with all other problems, peer pressure and many new things, he is without any parental supervision. So if we are not taking this as part of curriculum, then we are going to face some consequences, which we are seeing in the society today. What happens if you go for a holistic education? We feel the students feel comfortable, allow them to explore their academic interest and activities, that reduce competition, because one person is doing music, other is doing a sculpture, and third one may be doing something else, maybe writing poetry or learning to write poetry. There is no competition among them. But if all of them are taking same subject, that happens in core, and there is a lot of competition. Who does well? So it will actually not end the competition, but at least it will reduce up to some level. Student will have a tendency to work for excellence, whatever multidisciplinarity subjects he chooses. Promote bonding within them because they are no more competitive to each other. They will normally bond together. Build relations between teachers and students. Give a broader view of life and build character. So this is why holistic education is required, and it can be done, or it should be done, even at the cost of existing curriculum or core curriculum based education. So how to do it? That is the third part. We have addressed what and why. The third part, how to do it, will be taken up by my friend I just introduced while starting the course. We'll take a break here for 10 minutes. 10 minutes break we'll take and then assemble back. So we'll assemble back at 5, at what time? 6, 5?
6, 5.
We'll assemble back at 6, 5. And Professor R.K. Mishra will be taking the proceeding from there on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It's a complicated. क्यों पता चला
So,
टैब दिखेगा तो बंद कर दूंगा मैं.
good afternoon to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so our previous speaker was discussing about holistic and multidisciplinary education, and he discussed that why
And what?
inter and transdisciplinary, and what is interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and then why should we go for holistic education. So now then you have given many opinion polls also. So we will see that how. So how is a challenging one? Because in earlier presentations also we have seen. So Indira Priya Darshini ji, are you telling something about sound? Is there any problem?
नो सर, अभी आपकी आवाज आ रही है.
अच्छा, ठीक, thank you. So in previous sessions also we have seen that participants say that how to do this, means how to get the spirit of this presentation or this NEP in our existing curriculum. So what they feel is that if they go for implementing it, then they feel that something is going to suffer, something is going to be cut down. So those issues also we will discuss. But before that, we will see that what activities can be planned so that this how can be done. So there are many activities, and especially for multidisciplinary and holistic education, especially this first point which we have on the slide is engaging. For holistic, it is very, very important. That is to keep things engaging. So running the courses, subjects, not in true spirit of the subjects and running an exam-oriented curriculum is going to defeat the purpose. So we should try to capture the spirit, and for capturing the spirit, the method of engagement is the best one. So what we can do to engage them effectively is first is that experiential learning. So whatever we are going to tell them or explain them is better to ask them to do on their own. And if they have any problem, then they will explore about it and try to find out the solution. And then they will appreciate that what are the problems, and they themselves will discover the solution method. So this will be their own. It won't be taught by someone. Similar is the case with project-based learning. So they can be given some projects, and that project must be guided. So they are given project, they are exploring, they are doing something. When they have some problem, then they come to the mentor. So in this way, they are properly engaged, and it is discovery from their own side. And then exploratory projects. So in our institute, we have this component which we call exploratory project, and this project is normally introduced at second year level when they are in third semester, and in first 2 semesters they are mostly studying courses which are common to all the disciplines like electrical engineering, mechanical, computer science. All the students study some common subjects like physics, chemistry, math, and some other courses. So just after that, without introducing them to the disciplinary courses, we give them exploratory projects. Now, what is the idea behind that? Even though they haven't been taught some introductory courses on the discipline like electrical engineering, they are given exploratory projects which need the input of the electrical engineering. So idea there is that they themselves will explore, and then they will try try to solve that problem or build that thing, whatever is to be done in exploratory project. And in that process, they will be able to do something, but they will not be able to do some part of that, or they won't be able to understand that what is this, how it is to be done. So now this problem becomes their own. And then they search on their own, they talk to different mentors or different teachers, and then they might explore in the coming semesters that which subjects are going to cover these things which is required for our exploratory project to be completed. So when those courses are floated, then they take proper interest in that course, and then they have something to do. So their exploratory project is still to be completed. So with that input in 4th semester, 5th semester, 6th semester, they now find the required material, and they keep on building their project. Second thing, that it helps in identifying them that which elective should they go for. So normally it has been observed that if you offer elective, then students are confused, because if you have 10 electives and 1 elective is to be chosen, or 5 electives and 1 elective is to be chosen, then they don't get a proper criteria. I mean, other criteria they may get that which elective is giving good grade and all that, but they don't get any academic criteria normally. So this kind of projects which are given in the beginning of the disciplinary courses, they get an idea that which elective should they choose so that it will help in them in their exploratory projects. So this is the level or the type of engagement if we design such type of. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is the level of engagement if we creatively design these components. So few of them are mentioned here: exploratory project, project-based learning, experiential learning. And then we have so yes, this helps students to engage students in regular courses, as I mentioned. And examples for activity-based learning is that visit geography, history, ethnography, performance music. So here, as has already been discussed by Professor D. Singh, that when they are engaged in some such things, then they appreciate the effort of others and efforts required by themselves. So use performance-based activities, then their overall appreciation of the things is increased or is developed, not increased, rather is developed. And similar is the case when they are composing something, they are painting, they are writing something. So this gives certain dimensions, this rather cultivates certain dimensions of their personality, and then gives it a shape which is required for a full, well-rounded personality. Then learning through social activities, like very simple examples are given here, but those are just simple examples to get an idea, but those can be many or in different dimensions or in different types. So few of them are here, like controlling traffic, then managing waste, then helping people in obtaining governmental help and services, making signboards for appropriate shops and places. So these kinds of activities makes them aware of the social issues and solution approaches, and then acceptability of the solutions, and then real understanding of the cultural context, which Professor D. Singh was telling, that if they have understanding of the society, then whatever technological solution they are going, is that compatible with the society, with the culture of the society or not, that they can understand. And that too in engaging way. It's not being taught like a course through which they are being explained, like they are experiencing it. Then we have experiential design and creativity, making of interesting and improved musical instruments, painting, drawing and designing tools, gardening and agricultural implements and tools. Similarly, co-campus for industries for learning and experiencing entrepreneurship. So this gives different dimensions to their personality. Then we have this approach also, that we can ask the students to manage their own affairs so that they can understand that whatever help they are getting is actually their job and others are just helping them. It's not that it is their job. So this develops certain kind of feelings in them, like gratitude or better understanding of the other persons in the society. So like if we ask them to wash their own clothes, might be once in a week, or washing utensils at least once in a week, cleaning their rooms at least once in a week, managing and possible involvement making their own meals, health, hygiene and exercises, managing own papers, passport, account, bank, servicing their bicycle, and doing other things like getting their own Aadhaar card, applying online, downloading this and that, is without taking help of other agents which are there. So this engages them with the society, with the issues which are around them, and makes them more independent and confident that yes, they can manage on their own. So their own things. So as Professor D. Singh told earlier, that though the more we are getting educated, the lesser is going to be our confidence. Even those are better who could not pursue their education, probably they are more confident about life. They have wide spectrum, means wider understanding of the society. They know what can be done, where it can be done. They understand better, they are more confident. So now we can summarize here this holistic and multidisciplinary education. So through this holistic and multidisciplinary education, we learn the amount of, we understand the amount of efforts involved, understand the value of service which we are using or which we need or which we take from others, dignity of labor, taking responsibility of their own life and living, and ultimately resulting in confidence and self-discipline, and then understanding the problem of those who provide these services and reducing the blame game on others. So when we understand that those who are providing these services to me, they have certain problems. So rather than blaming them, we become considerate, or we understand them, and then we can do something for them. So now what we want to do now is that we will see the NEP document and see where and how this holistic education and multidisciplinary education has been mentioned, has been discussed. So NEP document has many parts, and part number 2 is about higher education. Is this document visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in this higher education part 2, we can see that this is page number 34. I have used the document as it is. Earlier I thought that I should take these excerpts from the document and put in the presentation, but that would not give the feeling that where and how this is placed in the document. So with that idea, we are sharing the document itself. So section number 9 talks about quality universities and colleges. a new forward-looking vision for India's higher education system. This is section 9. Under section 9, we have 9.1.1, where it says that what is the idea. So a quality higher education must enable personal accomplishment and enlightenment. So it is focusing on the personal accomplishment and enlightenment. Then constructive public engagement. Now you can see that whatever we have presented is going to be linked with this, or is connected to this, and it's relevant to these things which are mentioned here, but they are mentioned in other words. So constructive public engagement and productive contribution to the society. This is what is expected from a quality higher education as per NEP document. And it must prepare students for more meaningful and satisfying lives. So this is going to make their lives meaningful and satisfying. With Professor D. Singh started in the beginning, that even though they have higher educations, they get jobs, but they don't get satisfaction. They don't get meaning of their life. And work roles also. So it prepares them for their work roles and enables them to be economically independent. Then section 9.13, we can see that it represents the key to more vibrant, socially engaged, cooperative communities and a happier, cohesive, cultured, productive, innovative, progressive and prosperous nation. So here it is talking about that what is meant by quality education and quality higher education. So it says, now you can see that for a vibrant, socially engaged, cooperative communities, whatever we discussed is directly going to be relevant, and a happier, cohesive and cultured, productive, innovative, progressive and prosperous. So if we have such type of community which adjectives are used here, vibrant, socially engaged, cooperative, then only we can go, we can expect a nation which is happier, cohesive, cultured and productive, and other adjectives here. Now this NEP also mentions in section 9.2 some of the major problems currently faced by the higher education system in India. There are many, but we have highlighted only those which are somehow relevant to the holistic and multidisciplinary education. So one is that a severely fragmented higher education ecosystem. And second is less emphasis on the development of cognitive skills and learning outcomes. And third is a rigid separation of disciplines, which we have discussed throughout this presentation. Rigid separation of disciplines with early specializations and streaming of students in a narrow area of study. Nowadays, it has been observed that in many engineering colleges, we see that even in BTech, they are giving something like a specialization, like computer science with AI, computer science with data analytics, computer science with cyber security. So rather than giving them a wide spectrum so that they get better prepared to take up any problem and go into the depth with the wide understanding of the multidisciplinary subjects, the multidisciplinary domain, and with a well-rounded personality through graduation, means undergraduate studies, and then going for some detailed or in-depth studies, they are making their area of study narrow at the earlier stage of the higher education. That is what is mentioned here in point number C. And that too, rigid separation of discipline is there. So we don't see that where it is going to be related with other disciplines, which we call interdisciplinary, where it is going to be multidisciplinary, what other disciplines are also useful for my personality, and what are the issues which are transdisciplinary, means which go beyond the disciplines and which involve other non-academic stakeholders, as was mentioned in earlier discussion. And to address these major problems, what NEP suggests, that is in section 9.3. So this policy envisions a complete overhaul and re-energizing of the higher education system to overcome these challenges which are mentioned above, and overcome these challenges and thereby deliver high quality higher education with equity and inclusion. So it is also talking about equity and education. That is separate topic, which includes socio-economically disadvantaged groups. But we don't have time here to discuss about those things. So we will come to only those which are related to multidisciplinary and holistic. So this document says that policy's vision includes the following key changes. What is the first change which it is for which this policy is designed? Moving towards a higher educational system consisting of large multidisciplinary universities and colleges, with at least one in or near every district, which is not the case at present, and with more HEIs across India that offer. Now this is also important, and NEP has given a lot of emphasis on this, and a section is dedicated to this. That is, with more HEIs across India that offer medium of instruction or program in local Indian languages. So this is felt that if we go with this change, then we'll be able to address our problems which I mentioned earlier. Second is moving towards a more multidisciplinary undergraduate education. So rather than making it narrow at the undergraduate level, this policy envisions that undergraduate study is going to be multidisciplinary. Then there are the other issues which are not directly relevant to this multidisciplinary and holistic education. Then section 10 talks about institutional restructuring and consolidation. So to get a multidisciplinary nature of the educational institutes, what is suggested here is that moving to large multidisciplinary universities and HEI clusters is thus the highest recommendation of this policy regarding the structure of the higher education. From this statement, you can understand that what is the emphasis of this document or of this national education policy on the multidisciplinary. So that is the highest recommendation, which it says that large multidisciplinary universities and HEI clusters are those like if you have some specialized higher education colleges and all that. So it suggests to make a cluster of this so that they can collaborate and interchange their students and their courses and all that, so that overall a multidisciplinarity is obtained through that cluster. Then it says that the ancient Indian universities Takshila, Nalanda, Vallavi, Vikramshila, which had thousands of students from India and world studying in vibrant multidisciplinary environment, amply demonstrated the type of great success that large multidisciplinary research and teaching universities could bring. So this is what NEP says about multidisciplinary education and its importance. Then section 10.3 says that what a university will mean, means what it is meaning at present is not referring to that. But this vision, what it will mean is that university will mean a multidisciplinary institution of higher learning that offers undergraduate and graduate programs with high quality teaching, research, and community engagement. Now this community engagement is important one, which is going to give multidisciplinarity in the personality of the student. Then we have section 10.7. So it says that by 2040, all higher educational institutions shall aim to become multidisciplinary institutions and shall aim to have larger student enrollments, preferably in the thousands, for optimal use of infrastructure and resources, and for the creation of vibrant multidisciplinary communities. So this explains the emphasis on the multidisciplinarity. Since this process will take time, all HEIs will firstly plan to become multidisciplinary by 2030. This is the target set in the NEP, that all HEIs will firstly plan to become multidisciplinary by 2030 and then gradually increase student strength to the desired level. So rather than increasing the student level, the emphasis is given that they become multidisciplinary first and then increasing the number of students. Then section 10.10 is going to address one issue related to how. So, because sometimes this point was raised by participants that in our colleges at present we are not having all disciplinary courses, then how to provide these courses to our students. So that has been mentioned here in section 10.10, that institutions will have the options to run open distance learning and online programs, provided they are accredited to do so, in order to enhance their offerings, improve access, increase this enrollment, and provide opportunities for lifelong learning. So nowadays, these type of course, open distance learning type of courses and all those are there, and we have many other platforms where courses are running, and provisions are gradually being made that students can attend those courses and that credit of that course will be counted in their college. So we can use those platforms also to offer multidisciplinarity. Then 10.11 says that single stream HEIs will be phased out over time. Many HEIs are single stream, like some colleges are on social science, some colleges are, most of the colleges we can see that they are single stream, like engineering colleges. So they are single stream because they are running only engineering courses, but they cannot offer to their students other disciplinary courses. So single stream HEIs will be phased out over time, and all will move towards becoming vibrant multidisciplinary institutions or part of multidisciplinary HEI clusters, in order to enable and encourage high quality multidisciplinary and cross-disciplinary teaching and research across fields. Single HEI stream HEIs in particular add departments across different fields that would strengthen the single stream that they currently serve. So this is about multidisciplinarity and about single stream HEIs. Then we have section 10.13, that the overall higher education sector will aim to be an integrated higher education system, including professional and vocational education. So in this NEP, a special emphasis on vocational education has been given. Even in the first section, section 2 is higher education, and section 1 is about school education and all that. And that also it talks about vocational education. This vocational education is very, very important from the student point of view, because if they don't go for vocational education and they simply keep on studying the academic courses, then at any stage of time, any stage of their study, if they want to have a break and want to do something and then later on come to continue further in their studies, then what will be they doing? So this vocational education being properly integrated from the school level itself will enable them to have some skills so that they can start their own work at any stage, And after doing some work or getting some confidence or some money or something, they can come back to continue their studies. This is the overall idea. And with that idea, it is going to integrate this professional and vocational education. This policy and its approach will be equally applicable to all HEIs across all current streams, which would eventually merge into one coherent ecosystem of higher education. Then section 10.14, universities or university worldwide means a multidisciplinary institution of higher learning that offers undergraduate, graduate and PhD programs and engages in high quality teaching and research. Then section 11 is the interesting one. You see the title is dedicated to holistic and multidisciplinary education. So this section talks about holistic and multidisciplinary education idea in detail. So 11.1 says that ancient Indian literary works such as Bhart's Kadambari.
पहले तो मतलब थोड़ा क्लास के बाद होता था, लेकिन अब तो शुरू से काफी ज्यादा काम रहता है।
मुक्ति प्रिया जी, उसमें देखिए वहाँ पे
हाँ भाई,
इसमें हाँ म्यूट
हाँ अच्छा।
मुक्ति प्रिया जी, आप ध्यान रखिए, आपका माइक ऑन हो जा रहा है और आपको पता नहीं चल रहा है। So section 10.1, so it says that ancient Indian literary works such as Bhart's Kadambari described a good education. What it is describing as good education is as knowledge of 64 kalas or arts. And what were these 64 arts? There were certain categories. 64 arts were not only subjects such as singing and painting, but also scientific fields such as chemistry, mathematics, vocational fields such as carpentry and cloth making, professional fields such as medicine and engineering, as well as soft skills such as communication, discussion and debate. So now we can see that what categories have been identified here: scientific, vocational, professional and soft skill. All these were there are found in the literary works of ancient India, and it says that these are total 64 kalas, and this was the type of education, you can say. And the very idea that all branches of creative human endeavor include branches of creative human endeavor including mathematics, science, vocational subjects, professional subjects, and soft skills should be considered arts as distinctly Indian origin. So this notion of knowledge of many arts, or what is modern times is also called liberal arts, must be brought back to Indian education, as it is exactly the kind of education that will be required for the 21st century. Then section 11.2 says that it says that assessment of education approaches has been conducted in the area of humanities and arts with STEM, they call science, technology, engineering and mathematics, and it has shown, and that has consistently shown, positive learning outcomes. And what are those positive learning outcomes? Few of them are mentioned, that including increased creativity and innovation. So if you integrate the humanities and arts with STEM, science, technology, engineering and management, then it results in increased creativity and innovation, critical thinking, higher order thinking capacities, problem solving abilities, teamwork, communication skills, more in-depth learning and mastery of curricula across fields, increase in social and moral awareness, etc. Besides general engagement and enjoyment of learning. Research is also improved and enhanced through a holistic and multidisciplinary education approach. So this is means this has been mentioned here as a study or as an assessment of educational approaches which include multidisciplinarity, and it has been shown that it has all the positive learning outcomes which are really important for a well-rounded personality. Then section 11.3, this says that a holistic multidisciplinary education would aim to develop all capacities of human beings. So it's emphasizing on all capacities of human beings. It's not that if we don't go for multidisciplinary education, then capacities won't be enhanced, will not be developed. They will be developed, but they won't be covering all the dimensions of the capacities of a human being. This holistic and multidisciplinary is going to develop all these capacities of human beings, which results in the real life problem solving confidence in an individual. And such an education will help develop well-rounded individuals that possess critical 21st century capacities in fields across the arts, humanities, languages, science, social science, and professional, technical, and vocational fields, and ethic of social engagement, soft skills such as communication, discussion, debate, and rigorous specialization in a chosen fields. Such a holistic education shall be, in the long term, the approach of all undergraduate programs, including those in professional, technical, and vocational discipline. Then comes section 11.4. It says that even engineering institutions such as IITs will move towards more holistic and multidisciplinary education with more arts and humanities. I must tell at this point, for those participants who are not from engineering background, that most of them think that in IITs only technology courses are taught and only technological projects are taken, and students don't study humanities and other courses. So it's not the case. Almost all the IITs have one department which is humanities and social sciences, and they offer proper arts or humanities courses in proper rigor. Like they teach philosophy, they might be teaching development studies, they might be teaching history and such courses which are purely humanities courses, along with other courses which are relevant directly to the engineering field, like organizational behavior, organizational psychology, and all those which are related to the engineering. But besides this, other humanities courses in their true spirit with proper rigor are taught on almost all the engineering colleges. What this NEP is talking about is that with more arts and humanities courses, students of arts and humanities will aim to learn more science, and all will make an effort to incorporate more vocational subjects and soft skills. So these vocational subjects are somehow have gradually been missed out. Its emphasis is on that. Then 11.5 says that what would be required. So imaginative and flexible curricular structure will be required, and it will enable creative combination of disciplines for study and would offer multiple entry and exit points, which all of you know, thus removing currently prevalent rigid boundaries and creating new possibilities for lifelong learning. But for this lifelong learning, and to be free from the rigid boundaries of time and space constraint for doing any course, it is required that it must have this important component of vocational education. So that if at any point of time a student decides to give a pause to the studies and wants to do some work, then he must have sufficient skill, which we call vocational education, so that he can manage his own needs and then he can again come back. So graduate level, master's and doctoral education in large multidisciplinary universities, while providing rigorous research-based specialization, would also provide opportunities for multidisciplinary work, including in academia, government, and industry. Then section 11.6, large multidisciplinary universities and colleges will facilitate the move towards high quality, holistic and multidisciplinary education. Flexibility in curriculum and novel and engaging course options will be an offer to students, in addition to rigorous specialization in a subject or subjects. Then section 11.7, departments in language, literature, music, philosophy, Indology, art, dance, theatre, education, mathematics, statistics, and so on. You can see the list. And such subjects needed for multidisciplinary stimulating Indian education environment will be established and strengthened at all HEIs. This is important, at all HEIs. And credits will be given to all bachelor degree programs for these subjects if they are done from such departments or through ODL, online distance learning mode, when they are not offered in class at the HEIs. Then 11.8, towards the attainment of such a holistic and multidisciplinary education, the flexible and innovative curricula of all HEIs shall include credit-based courses and projects in the areas of community engagement and service, environment education, and value-based education. And this also talks about global citizen education, a response to contemporary global challenges. Then it talks about what are different values. Then 11.11, model public universities for holistic and multidisciplinary education at par with IITs, IIMs, etc. called MERU will be set up. MERU is multidisciplinary education and research universities will be set up and will aim to attain the highest global standards in quality education. 11.12, HEIs will focus on research and innovation by setting up incubation centers, technology development centers, centers in frontier areas of research, greater industry academic linkages, and interdisciplinary research, including humanities and social science research. And similarly, other topics are there. But as time is going to be 6:52, we have only 8 minutes. So I think that I should stop here. And if you have something to discuss, then we can discuss those issues that we can finish in time. By the time you think over the questions and queries, I can refer this document, page number 41, 12.9. So it's talking about student activity and participation. Towards this end, students will be given plenty of opportunities for participation in sports, culture, arts, club, eco clubs, activity clubs, community service projects, etc. And there shall be counseling system for handling stress and emotional adjustment. So these are other related topics. Then it is talking about equity and inclusion in higher education, which I was telling. So it talks about that means steps to be taken by government to include those which are socially and economically disadvantaged groups. So I think I should stop here. Dr. Saket Devnath has raised a hand. Yes, Dr. Devnath. Shushma ji, do you have something? You have raised your hand.
Yes, sir. Sir, my basic point is here in India, in higher education system, the curriculum is same for richest and poorest student, right? So for poorest student, so he is having his own basic needs, anna, vastra and nivara. So along with that, that syllabus is same, which that richest person who is concentrating on only syllabus. So my opinion is paid internship must be there. So half and half part they can earn for their basic needs.
So there is a scheme which is called as Earn While Learn. So those and similar other provisions have been made in NEP for socially and economically disadvantaged groups. So that is what is mentioned here in section 14. You can refer this, and it is talking those issues which you are mentioning here.
Is that paid internship must be provided by that higher institute itself?
Yes, all such things are mentioned here in section 14. So
Yes, sir.
they have paid attention to this. That
Yes.
to enable them so that they can get some economic support.
Yes.
Thank you for giving this point, important point. Dr. Saikat. Anyone else? A.K. Jain sir. नीरज कुमार भार्गव।
सर परीक्षा कैसे होनी वो थोड़ा जानना था।
किसमें?
अभी इसी की परीक्षा होने वाली है ना 12 तारीख को शायद।
अच्छा। आपने जो हम लोग बात कर रहे थे कि एग्जाम सेंट्रिक और ये सब, आप भी वही बात कर रहे हैं कि हम लोग सारा ये NEP का जो FDP हो रहा है सब एग्जाम सेंट्रिक कर दे रहे हैं। अरे हम लोगों ने जो बात की उसी पे सवाल होंगे।
जी
ध्यान से सुना है तो आप उसको आंसर करेंगे। आइडिया ये है कि एंगेज हो, जो भी बात कर रहे थे। अगर आप एंगेज्ड हैं, यू आर गेटिंग द स्पिरिट, यू विल बी एबल टू आंसर। Questions won't be difficult. Questions will be only to ensure that have you been attentive and listening.
सर मैं तो हिंदी का छात्र हूँ, इसलिए बहुत सारा विषय नया आया है सर।
हाँ, तो हम लोग के जीवन में हर चीज हमेशा नई चीजें ही आती रहती हैं। हमेशा पुरानी चीजें लेके हम लोग कहाँ चल पाएंगे, बड़ा बोरिंग हो जाएगा।
जी सर।
थैंक यू वंशी जी। So Mukti Priya ji, Sharma Rashmi ji, and
48 others.
48 others. Alpa Nagar.
जी सर।
Yes. बोलिए।
सर थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर दिस थॉट प्रोवोकिंग सेशन सर, बहुत बढ़िया सेशन रहा है और NEP से
Thank you. But do you have any points to raise here and discuss and give some input so that we can?
Yes sir. My basic theory is about how these it looks very lucrative and all the ideas are very good if they are really bring in true spirit to the education system. Our system would be the wonderful system, but how we can incorporate, because our existing system is somewhat quite different from the things what we are talking in future to be.
So NEP says that we'll have to have an innovative curriculum. Innovative curriculum means that we'll have to sit down and think that what should be in our curriculum as per NEP, and the existing curriculum needs to be overhauled or restructured. So suppose you have many core courses, then 4 or 5 core courses can be merged, and then 2-3 courses can emerge which have all the core requirements, and those things which are somewhat advanced, they can be put an additional exercise or as projects or as further study, and those which are really basic things or basic theories and skills, those are taught, and others can be referred to the students, so that we can make a scope for such activities and for such multidisciplinary courses. So this kind of exercise will have to be done, and it needs a lot of time and dedication. It cannot be done only formally.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Sushma ji.
Yes, sir. Being a teacher, higher education system, so that thorough learning and what I can say, in job training, at least one training in one semester is needed for this NEP, because somewhere this NEP is misinterpreted. Actually, it is very beautiful, and if we are going to implement that NEP now, so that will be miracle. But because of that misinterpretation, the actual meaning of NEP is not what I can say percolated.
Yes, you are very right.
So,
that is true. It should be done. So I think wherever we can give this feedback, we will also try to convey your
yes, sir, that publicity is needed. Publicity through media, publicity through conferences, publicity to different seminars. So
yes,
that is more important. That its teacher itself get trained for that NEP.
yes,
Then and then only it is possible.
that is true. That is very important to get the idea exactly what is the spirit of the NEP. Thank you.
Through sir, through that policy is light but tight. So likewise slogans we need.
Yes.
So we had that GR by our Maharashtra government. So what is NEP? That NEP is that implementation is light but tight. So we can understand. So likewise that publicity is needed.
Yes, true. Thank you.
Sir, most of the states or some states are not accepting the NEP. They literally said that we don't want to implement NEP. That is a problem to many organizations. But do you think all the states will come on one platform for this?
That I cannot comment upon. What we can do is we can explain what we understand from NEP, and we can try to find out the plus points and things from the NEP and can discuss with the participants. But it's an administrative issue to be decided by the Ministry Education Ministry, and they will see that what to be done. But our responsibility, your and our means we, the speakers' responsibility is to try to get the spirit of NEP as clearly as possible. And if we get its spirit, then the more we understand will naturally flow to others. And its clarity is important, whether they go for implementation or not, and what they do, that is a different issue.
Yeah, okay.
Sir,
okay.
sir, actually what happened due to that 150-year slavery, what they did, Ingras, so intentionally they block our thinking.
So
they just want Indian person as a clerical person. And what NEP want originality. NEP want thinking.
Definitely.
So that basic difference they should know. Why we need that NEP? Because that English person, they blocked our thinking and they created only clerical, not having that decision taking capacity person.
Yes,
And
yes.
here we need that drastic change in our education system, which has been already tapered by them.
Yes, so
And-
our country started with political independence. Then after that, we have gone for economic independence. And now the stage of independence in thinking. So as you are telling, we are now independent in our thinking. We can understand that what is going on and what changes might be done. We will have to understand our role for our society, for our nation, and then accordingly we'll have to do. It has been a long time since the English people have gone, and we have got sufficient time to be politically and economically independent. Now we should go for thought independence. So it's our responsibility that we collectively understand these type of policies and try to implement or see or explore that how it can be implemented if we find that its spirit is perfectly right.
It's just a sake of opposition. We can't oppose that NEP. We can't oppose that
No,
new thing.
That is the thing.
Yeah.
Now. Thought independence means that just for the sake of opposition, we should not do opposition. We should understand the truth and we try to honor it.
Why we need.
Change is mandatory.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Pavanji, you are right. Change is mandatory. Change is the only thing which is constant. So I think we can stop now. It's already 7:07. And we are really thankful to the participants for responding to the this opinion polls and then raising their issues and their concerns and their point of view and their queries and making this session overall very interactive. And we are also very happy that it was interactive. It was not a one-way session. Thanks to all of you. Band kar de?
Okay, we'll close now. Thank you then. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.